Well, I was raised in Woods County, a little town called Tacoma, Oklahoma, by an aunt and uncle. Started the 4th grade with them, and that's home to me. I went through high school and I graduated from OSU in '61. A few of the right people across this great country we live in knowed what my desires were, and before I really got started in it, I got one of them letters in the mail that says greetings from the president, you know, and so I spent 735 days and 18 hours in the United States Army. When I came home from there, through the encouragement of some good people, I went to auction school, decided that's sure enough what I wanted to do then, and I had some good people, you know, Delbert Winchester and George Schultz out of Enid, Oklahoma, give me all the encouragement in the world.
Butch graduated in 1962 with an animal science degree, served as a swine herdsman for a year and a half before he went off to the Army. When he got back is when he went to auctioneering school and began his career and became the best swine auctioneer in the history of the business.
Well, the first time I went to work for the university was about 6, 7 months after I got out of school. The swine herdsman had left, and Dr. Hilliard got a hold of me, and I came down here and met with him, and OSU people told me that, you know, I had a job there, that they'd find something for me, and I said, no, I'm not going to do that, because that means somebody else is going to lose a job, and I didn't do that. I went to work for the Poland people a few years.
I first met him, I actually started in school at Oklahoma State University in 1964, and met Butch in those early years at Oklahoma State, and then in 1969 I did a summer intern as field representative for the Poland-China Association, and at that time Butch was an auctioneer that was selling Poland sales, and so I've been acquainted with him and known him well since the late 1960s.
After that, kind of went to work on this thing to see if we could make a living at it, and I was fortunate enough, lots of good people hired me. The first time that I ever sold a pig was at Wayman Brothers Pig Sale at Gold Tree, Oklahoma. Clarence and James Wayman. Delbert Winchester and George Schultz sold most of the sale, but it was all set up and I didn't know it, that I was going to sell the last 10 or 12 in the sale that night. And that was the first ones I ever sold. That's the way it started. I watched. I seen. I worked the ring a lot. That was probably the best teacher that an auctioneer could ever have. Is he needs to take bids from a good man for a good man for a few times, and maybe several years it might take you, but then everything fell in place.
I think without question he was one of the most sought after auctioneers in the country. If you was having a sale and were looking for that auctioneer that you thought could help you bring the most value to that set of animals, Butch Young was a name that would come to the forefront rather quickly.
Well, he's working for the breeder. He's selling hogs for a person, whether it's at a production sale or a type conference. Butch would never say this. I know he would never say this, so I'm going to say it for you, Butch. Because of your professional courtesy to all the other competitive auctioneers of your era, you were the very best, no question. And you were because of your people skills, your entertaining value, your wit, and your optimism when you were selling hogs. You made somebody feel like he was buying a great one every time, and when he finished buying it, whether it was for what the hog was worth or thousands more than he was worth, because you were good. But that buyer felt good about his purchase because of your optimism and the positive approach you took. Darrell Stiles asked me to say a few words a couple years ago when Butch retired and actually did his last premium sale at Payne County. But Butch sold the premium sale for Payne County youth for 37 years. And if you've never seen Butch sell the Payne County or Canadian County premium sale, you've missed a show, because he loves the kids and he's getting the most out of the crowd for the sake of the kids, and he's a performer. When he gets that microphone in his hand, you know, he's at ease, and he's great at it. He's absolutely great at it. And his help for those youth in Payne County has just been awesome through the years, and he wouldn't want anybody to thank him for it, but he's super.
Probably the first premium sale that I sold was right in Payne County. I did that for several years. A man from Wilbarger County, Texas, at Vernon, Texas. He was a county agent down there. He called me one afternoon and told me that I had to be in Vernon, Texas at 4 o'clock the next afternoon to sell their premium sale. And I told him that I wasn't coming to Vernon, Texas and sell a premium sale, or just wasn't going to do that. And he said, what did you not understand about me telling you to be here? So I went down there, and there had been some wrongful doings and had went on there, and so I sold that premium sale. And it was a lot of fun, don't get me wrong, and I'd done that for several years. And then I sold Canadian County premium sale for several years. I helped with the sale at Tulsa State Fair a time or two. Never will forget one up at Tulsa. They had it in that tent out there on the north side of that big long livestock barn. And when it was over, Rosie was out in the car and had it running, and because we had to be in San Antonio the next night for one. When we made it, couldn't fly it, but we could drive it. And that happened a few times.
Butch, living in the Stillwater area, has recruited a lot of kids, and he bleeds orange. I'm telling you, he is the ultimate OSU animal science cowboy.
He had an influence in my life of getting involved in breed association work and carrying some of those things on. Lots of young people that he was affiliated with at Oklahoma State University. And as we traveled, and we've put lots of miles together across the country going from sales, and I'd never seen him pass a young person up that he thought had lots of potential, that he didn't think that person's or to come to school at Oklahoma State University, and he was a true advocate of the land grant institution and the production livestock basis that was there at Oklahoma State. And
I got credit for some of the students that came to OSU in the animal science department. And they always told me that the ones I really was responsible for were real good students and turned out to be good individuals, you know, but they didn't know that I never did tell no kid to come to OSU unless I thought he was an awful good individual. And yes, I got credit for that somewhat.
I've also known him as I've worked with the Animal Science Alumni Association, all of his support. I've known him because I lived in Payne County, and I've had kids and grandkids show pigs at the Payne County Fair, and seen Butch work that premium sale and work with young people out there in a helpful way for 37 years. And he has always helped our Animal Science Alumni Association with their fundraising efforts. We're always having auctions and selling things, and Butch is always there, ready to go to work for us, won't take any pay, just proud to be a cowboy, proud to visit with the alumni and tell his stories and lead that crowd in laughter, and it's just been amazing to work with. So when we saw the end of his career as an auctioneer for us, and he told us, he said, I'm not going to do it anymore for you, Brock. I want to, but I just can't. We honored him with one of only 10 Hall of Fame chairbacks at our Todashek Arena. Our Animal Science Arena has just been named the Todashek Arena just about a year ago. And Butch is one of only 10 people who has a Hall of Fame chairback in that arena. We did it secretly. We gathered money and support for Butch for this specific wording for his chairback. Didn't tell him about it and let him auction it off himself, unknowing that it was a chairback in his honor, and we really got a big kick out of that. We raised over $7,000 on behalf of Butch that will be used for student scholarships for the future. But just in honor of him, we raised over $7,000 and did it secretly enough that he sold that chairback, his own chairback, without knowing what he was doing, and we really got a big kick out of him doing that.
I think if you tie together the engagement in the pig business, the contributions there, his influence in the lives of lots of young people, and all that makes him an absolute great choice to be put on the wall in the Pork Council's Hall of Fame.
I just can't imagine that anybody has had more of a positive impact on the purebred swine business and the show pig business in Oklahoma than Butch Young. I just think the work he's done is something else. I think it's a real honor for Butch and Rosie. I think it's long overdue and very, very deserving.